So today I'm going to talk about a pretty interesting personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder. So I think that this is one that a lot of people see like in movies and pop culture, and they hear about it. They hear the term psychopath and sociopath, but they don't really know exactly what it is other than a serial killer usually portrayed in the media. So I'm going to explain what it actually is and what it entails. So thank you guys for joining me, and let's get started. So people with antisocial personality disorder typically have no regard for right and wrong and often disregard the rights, wishes, and feelings of others. Those with antisocial personality disorder tend to antagonize, manipulate, or treat others either harshly or with callous indifference. They may often violate the law, landing in frequent trouble, yet they show no guilt or remorse. They may lie, behave violently or impulsively, and have problems with drug and alcohol use. These characteristics typically make people with antisocial personality disorder unable to fulfill responsibilities related to family, work, or school. Now, going into some of the symptoms, which is a little bit similar to what I just read, but one being disregard for right and wrong, persistent lying or deceit to exploit others, using charm or wit to manipulate others for personal gain or for sheer personal pleasure, intense egocentrism, sense of superiority, and exhibitionism, yeah, sorry guys, can't pronounce that one. Reoccurring difficulties with the law, repeatedly violating the rights of others by the use of intimidation, dishonesty, and misrepresentation, child abuse or neglect, hostility, significant irritability, agitation, impulsiveness, aggression, or violence, lack of empathy for others and lack of remorse for harming others, unnecessary risk-taking or dangerous behaviors, poor or abusive relationships, irresponsible work behavior, failure to learn from the negative consequences of behavior. Antisocial personality disorder symptoms may begin in childhood and are fully evident for most people during their 20s and 30s. In children, cruelty to animals, bullying behavior, impulsivity, or explosions of anger, social isolation, and poor school performance may be, in some cases, early signs of the disorder. Although considered a lifelong disorder, some symptoms, particularly destructive and criminal behavior and the use of alcohol and drugs, may decrease over time, but it's not clear whether this decrease is the result of aging or an increased awareness of the consequences of antisocial behavior. And this is just off topic, but a lot of people misuse the term antisocial. They say, oh, that person at that party is so antisocial that them someone being standoffish or being shy is not related to antisocial personality disorder in any means. So just to put that out there, that's kind of a connotation and not the denotation of the word antisocial. So just to throw that out there. Alright, now, although the precise cause of antisocial personality disorder isn't known, certain factors seem to increase the risk of developing or triggering it, including diagnosis of childhood conduct disorder, family history of antisocial personality disorder or other personality disorders or mental illness, being subjected to verbal, physical, or sexual abuse during childhood, unstable or chaotic family life during childhood, loss of parents through traumatic divorce during childhood, history of substance abuse in parents or other family members. Men are at greater risk of having antisocial personality disorder than women. Now, the diagnosis criteria. To be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, a person must meet the symptom criteria in the DSM. This manual, published by the American Psychiatric Association, is used by mental health providers to diagnose mental illnesses and by insurance companies to reimburse for treatment, which a lot of you probably already know. Symptoms criteria required for a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder include being at least 18 years old, having had symptoms of conduct disorder before age 15, which may include acts of stealing, vandalism, violence, cruelty to animals, and bullying, repeatedly breaking the law, repeatedly conning or lying to others, being irritable, aggressive, repeatedly engaging in physical fights or assaults, feeling no remorse or justifying behavior after harming others, having no regard for the safety of self or others, acting impulsively and not planning ahead, or being irresponsible and repeatedly failing to honor work or financial obligations. Now, as far as medications go, there is no FDA-approved drug to treat antisocial personality disorder, but depending on the symptoms, a doctor may prescribe pretty much any psychiatric medicine out there, whether it be an antipsychotic, a mood stabilizer, or an antidepressant. So, on those, the drugs can be just any variation, since there is no specific antisocial personality disorder drug. Now, traits of a, okay, so I'm going to get into now sociopath and psychopath both fall under antisocial personality disorder. There is a little bit of a distinction between the two, and I've looked through various sources, and it's not clear in the psychiatric world the definitions between the two, other than they do both still fall under the same diagnostic criteria. So, but just something that I did find, traits of a sociopath versus traits of a psychopath. For a sociopath, researchers tend to believe that sociopathy is the result of environmental factors, such as a child or teen's upbringing in a very negative household that resulted in physical abuse, emotional abuse, or childhood trauma. Sociopaths in general tend to be more impulsive and erratic in their behavior than their psychopath counterparts. While also having difficulties in forming attachments to others, some sociopaths may be able to form attachment to a like-minded group or person. Unlike psychopaths, most sociopaths don't hold down long-term jobs or present much of a normal family life to the outside world. When a sociopath engages in criminal behavior, they may do so in an impulsive and largely unplanned manner, with little regard for the risk or consequences of their actions. They may become agitated or angered easily, sometimes resulting in violent outbursts. These kinds of behaviors increase sociopaths' chance in being apprehended. And sociopaths' examples in pop culture would be the Joker in The Dark Knight, JD in Heathers, and Alex DeLarge in A Clockwork Orange. Now, going to a psychopath, psychology researchers generally believe that psychopaths tend to be born. That is a genetic predisposition, while sociopaths tend to be made by their environment. Psychopathy might be related to physiological brain differences. Research has shown psychopaths have underdeveloped components of the brain commonly thought to be responsible for emotion regulation and impulse control. Psychopaths in general have a hard time forming real emotional attachments with others. Instead, they form artificial, shallow relationships designed to be manipulated in a way that most benefits the psychopath. People are seen as pawns to be used for the psychopath's goals. Psychopaths rarely feel guilt regarding any of their behaviors, no matter how much they hurt others. But psychopaths can often be seen by others as being charming and trustworthy, holding steady, normal jobs. Even some have families and seemingly loving relationships with a partner. While they tend to be well educated, they may also have learned a great deal on their own. When a psychopath engages in criminal behavior, they tend to do so in a way that minimizes risks to themselves. They will carefully plan criminal activity to ensure they don't get caught, having contingency plans in place for every possibility. And some pop culture examples would be Dexter, Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men, which is a fantastic movie. I wish I knew how to say his last name. Henry in Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. So you can see that there are overlaps in the two, but they do, all of those traits are listed for both of them in antisocial personality disorder. So you can be a sociopath, and it's called having antisocial personality disorder. You can be a psychopath, and you would be called one as having antisocial personality disorder. So I hope that clears it up for any of you guys who were a little bit fuzzy on the definition and the symptoms and so on and so forth. And thanks again for watching and tuning into my channel, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Thanks guys, bye.